Hey everyone, Bill Lethman here for Money Evolution. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Roth conversions. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about what factors that you should be thinking about if you're considering moving money from a traditional retirement account over to a Roth retirement account. Now, this is all something that came up because of a question that was asked in our brand new Facebook group called the Retirement Time Machine. So, as you might know, if you've been following our channel for a while, we have to have our comments disabled per our industry regulations. So we created this Facebook group so that all of you can ask questions of me, different things that you might be thinking about, some of your biggest challenges as it relates to retirement planning or investing or whatever that may be. So if you haven't already, make sure you check out retirementtimemachine.com. There you can get some additional information, you can sign up for our group, and you can also get notification when we launch our brand new retirement planning course that's also called the Retirement Time Machine. So anyway, somebody in our group asked a question which seemed like it was a very simple question. It was, should I be converting money over to a Roth IRA? Now, this is an excellent question, and it's one that I think a lot of people are asking. In fact, some of the videos that we talk about Roth conversions are some of the most popular videos that we have on our channel. So why are these Roth conversion videos so popular, and why are so many people asking the question? Well, I think there's a couple reasons. Number one is that I think most people are looking at some of the budget deficits that we have in this country and our national debt that's now at about $30 trillion. And we're trying to figure out how are we all going to pay for this. And we all know that revenue to the federal government comes from all of us taxpayers. So I think a lot of us are looking at that thinking that tax rates may go up. The other reason is because of our current tax situation. So as many of you probably already know right now, 2018, we rolled in this Tax Cuts and Jobs Act rate. In fact, that rolled in what we have some of the lowest tax rates that we've had in really decades, pretty much across all income brackets. And so this is something actually from my course, which is the Retirement Time Machine course. So if you, like I said, sign up for that, you'll get access to all of these worksheets and things to really kind of walk you through this. But here I've got a comparison of our Tax Cuts and Jobs Act rate compared to what those rates would be, assuming we get a reversion back in 2026, back to those old rates prior to when that went into effect in 2018. So one of the biggest factors that I think we need to look at if we're talking about Roth conversions is very simply what is my tax rate today versus what is that tax rate going to be in the future? And it really basically boils down to just that. So if we think our tax rate in the future is going to be higher than it is today, then it's going to benefit us to pay those taxes today on things like our traditional IRAs in doing those Roth conversions. But if we think our tax bracket is going to be lower in the future, then we're better off maybe not doing that, or maybe taking a tax deduction or contributing money to a pre-tax 401k plan as an example, and getting that tax benefit today and then taking that money out later in the future at a lower tax bracket. And I think that's kind of the maybe somewhat, I don't want to say misguided information, but the myth that I think a lot of us got bought into when we very first started putting money into these retirement accounts, is that our tax bracket in retirement was going to be certainly lower than it is today. And again, that's not just simply going to be true for probably a lot of us maybe watching this video. So one of the things that we do inside of the Retirement Time Machine course, but you can kind of plan out a little bit on your own as well, is you really want to look at, again, what are some of your needs as you go into retirement. So of course, if you're still working, let's say you're going to have a pretty good idea of what that income coming in is going to be. You can look at your tax returns from the current year, previous years, and see what sort of tax bracket you're going to be looking at. You're going to be wanting to look primarily at what's called your marginal tax bracket. There's a lot of different terminologies as it gets into some of the taxation, but your marginal tax rate is going to be that highest tax rate that you're going to pay on each additional dollar of earnings that you're going to have there. And you're going to want to look at that, and then you're going to kind of want to fast forward into the future a little bit and see what does the cash flow look like. So there's a couple of other factors that you're going to want to know. One of those factors is how much money do you need just to support your retirement lifestyle, and that's going to give you an idea whether or not that tax bracket's going to be higher or lower in the future. So, make up a number here. Let's say you need $150,000 a year for your living expenses. Where's that money going to come from? So that gets into something we've talked about a lot here on the channel, but that's going to be your asset breakdowns. We have things like your non-retirement accounts outside of 401ks and traditional IRA accounts and Roth accounts. You're going to have those traditional retirement accounts, and you're going to have maybe some Roth retirement accounts. So a lot of our people that we talk to have the bulk of their savings in this traditional retirement bucket. In fact, some people even have all of their money or 99% of their money in this traditional bucket. So of course, if you need $150,000 per year, you're going to have to take out something much greater than that. Maybe it's going to be $190,000 or $200,000 after you figure out your state and federal income taxes that you're going to need. And so again, then you can kind of look forward to what that tax bracket is going to be in the future, just based off of your needs. So something else that we did inside of the retirement time machine is we created these tables and these charts. They're references. So one of the things we do is we really get into mapping out your cash flow, really understanding where you are today with all of your income and expenses, where that's going to go into retirement in terms of what your drawdown is going to be. But this right here is something that I created, which is a tax table, which takes the old tax table from 2017, which was before the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act went into effect, and we apply a inflation factor. We use a 2.44%, which is a good long-term historical rate of inflation there, something we use in our financial plans. And then we can go through and we can start to look at this in particular years. So we can say, okay, in 2030, as an example, the 25% tax bracket might be $209,000. So we can start to judge that and get an idea, okay, if we need $200,000 today, what is that going to look like down the road, and is that going to be in a higher bracket? The other thing we want to look at too is we do some asset mapping, and so this is something very important. So we want to look in particular, again, sticking with that traditional retirement account. If you have $3 million in this account, one of the things you want to be doing is looking at, okay, based on all these other factors, what is the drawdown that I'm going to need from that? Again, if that's the only account that you have and you need to take $200,000 out per year to meet that, and again, we've got some inflation we got to think about there, but you can do some simple calculations, even using a amortization schedule or a financial calculator, and say, okay, if I'm 67 years old today and I need to take $200,000 out of that account to meet my lifestyle needs, what is that account going to be when I'm 72 years old? That's the magic age that we get to when we're going to be forced to take money out of our retirement accounts. And you can see, okay, well, even if I'm taking $200,000, depending on what rate of growth that you have, or maybe you're taking a little bit less out, that account may be $4 million. Again, maybe it will, maybe it'll be less. Again, market conditions are certainly going to impact that, but then you could say, okay, what is my required minimum distribution going to be at age 72? And now you can start to see, okay, do I have excess money in that RMD? Okay, and that's something that, again, with the worksheets and things that we walk through in the retirement time machine will help you to figure out is whether or not that RMD is going to maybe put you in a higher tax bracket, number one, but is that going to be more than what you need for some of those lifestyle expenses? And if there's excess there, that's going to then come back and make that case better for you to do that Roth conversion. So lots of things to think about there, but you really need to kind of create the whole big picture, and there's all kinds of different moving pieces related to retirement. We've talked about that a lot on the channel here through some of the different videos. And that's why I'm super excited to be rolling out this Retirement Time Machine online course because all of these ideas have kind of been, in my head. I've been doing these videos, but this is something that's going to really kind of bring all of that stuff together and really organize it in a way that we can really make more well-informed and more confident decisions about our money and our financial situation and our retirement. So anyway, again, head over to retirementtimemachine.com. There's going to be some information about the course. And again, there's also going to be a link there to our Facebook group as well. So whether you decide to participate in the course or not, the Facebook group is going to be a great spot for you to be able to communicate with us, ask questions, really kind of a community of like-minded people that are all working towards their retirement. So anyway, check that out, retirementtimemachine.com, and hopefully we'll see you in our new course. And keep watching our YouTube channel, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you back soon. Thanks.